okay, ma. Right. Later I will allocate. Yeah. Good morning to all of you. Right. Last class, actually, I was discussing some general introduction we had in the last class. Right. Now today, what we will do. Today also I want to have, before starting the subject, again I want to have some discussion, a few minutes. Just I will, yeah. Yes. Today what will happen? Yeah, we will discuss about some general instruction I will give. Later I will go. We will start. I will start teaching the subject, discussing the subject with you. Right. See here, you all are engineering students, right? You are in college education. Actually, earlier you were in school education, right? The school curriculum definitely differ from college curriculum, right? The college curriculum is entirely different. You cannot expect the same thing here, right? So during your school education up to higher secondary, you had prescribed textbooks, okay? And you have to study the contents available well within the textbook. And the questions were asked well within the textbook, right? You have to study all the content, whatever contents is there in the, because you have to prescribe the content in it, right? You studied them. Questions were asked well within the textbook and you answer, right? So that was the curriculum type. Now you are in college education. In college education, you don't have any prescribed textbook here, okay? Whatever syllabus is there, whatever textbook you are studying, they are reference book, right? They are just only reference book. Here knowledge is always unlimited. You don't have any prescribed content, right? You have only syllabus. You can study any amount on each topic. As much possible information you can gather and acquire knowledge, right? So here we will just brief your syllabus, right? Whatever there in your syllabus, little bit explanatory manner, we will explain you within the available contact hours. We will teach you. We cannot teach each and everything. Spoon feeding kind of teaching will not be done here. We will tell you something. All right. It is your responsibility to refer several reference books and acquire knowledge yourself. Okay. Self-learning. Once you come to college, we are a major, no, 18 plus. So we have to study ourselves. So we have to self-dependent and self-learning. Our teaching will help you, will simplify your self-learning process. That's all. That you should keep it in mind. You can't expect the same way of teaching as you had earlier during your school days, right? That is spoon feeding kind of teaching. Here we can't do that spoon feeding kind of teaching. We will elaborate your syllabus. That's all, and we will tell you, we will guide you and give the essence of your syllabus, the content, and you have to elaborately study by referring several textbooks. That you keep it in mind. Okay, this subject surveying is concerned. It is not pure theory subject, not problem-oriented subject. Okay, it is nearly 65% theory, 60% theory. Some 35 to 40% there are problems. Okay, I will be focusing on those things, the problems. Okay, wherever computations are involved, wherever computations are there, problems are there, I will tell you how to do it. Because I have to focus more there for you people. Theory anybody can study and understand. Okay, theory part I will be just briefing, or wherever required I may be elaborating. But you have to study. Even by going through the theory, you can understand yourself with our help. Whatever teaching we do, based on that, definitely you can follow it, right? And you have to study deeply and keenly the textbooks which you are referring, right? The problem-oriented part, nearly 38 to 40% problem-oriented part in surveying. That I will be telling you clearly to you. You do not worry, right? That is about your subject. Next one is, whenever we do something, we have to make our mind very clearly what we are doing, what for we are doing it. See here, you know, up to +2 level, you studied science, but here you are studying engineering. Okay, up to +2 level, you studied so many science subjects. Okay, since your childhood up to +2 level, you studied so many science subjects. For example, you studied physical science, mathematical science, chemical science, biological science, even social science, even social, the history, the event happened. Okay, that is social science, geography, the truth about the terrain, everything you have studied, right? Whatever the terrain about the details about the terrain you have studied. So you studied so many science subjects. Along with them, you also studied language papers, right? English, Telugu, Tamil, Tamil, and then what else? Sanskrit. Likewise, you have studied so many language, French. Likewise, you have studied certain language subject also. Either 2 or 3 languages you have studied along with these science subjects. Okay, now you are undergoing engineering course, right? Now you are studying engineering. I hope all of you know the difference between science and engineering. Okay, any one of you unmute your mic and tell me what is the difference between science and engineering? How do you distinguish? Just I want to interact with any one of you, right? Those who want to interact with me can unmute your mic and talk to me. How do you distinguish these two words, science and engineering? What is the difference between science and engineering? Because up to +2 level, you studied science, right? Now you are undergoing engineering course. So what is the difference? How do you distinguish these two terms, science and engineering? Yes, someone has come forward. Ashish Tamar, please. Please tell in your own words, no
Sir, in
problem.
science we study the
Yes.
in science we study the concept, but in engineering we apply those concepts in real life.
No, your audio is not louder. I will be happy if you talk a little bit louder. Ashish Tamar.
Yeah. Sir, in science we study the concept.
Study about theory. Okay. What about engineering?
Yes, sir. Engineering we learn how to apply those concepts in real life.
Yeah, very nice. Engineering is how to apply those concepts. Okay. So very good. If, unmute. Yeah, you mute it. You mute it. I will talk to you. Yeah. What Ashish Tamar says, science is concerned with, okay, it's study about theory, concepts. Engineering is the how to apply them, the concept, the theory. Okay, that is Ashish Thomas. He explained. Okay, explanation. Is it okay for all of you? Are you anybody interested in giving some any other explanation or similar explanation? Please come forward because since the beginning class, I want to interact with somebody. Those who are interested can unmute and talk. Yes, Ashish, just
Science is about knowledge and engineering is about invention.
Science is about knowledge. Engineering is about invention. Okay, very good. Okay, you mute it. I will talk to you. Ashish Jaiswal says science is about knowledge. Engineering is about invention. Okay. Is it so? Okay. Yes, he said something. Okay. Even in science, whatever law, fact determined, that also some kind of okay, invention. Okay. Okay, that some more or less, right? We will discuss further. Any other explanation, ma? From boy side or girl side? Any other explanation? Anyone? Some of you come, please come forward and talk. Tell something. Any student?
Sir, through engineering. Hello, sir.
Agit Singh, tell me.
Yes.
Ankit Singh.
Through engineering, we solve life problems by applying science.
Okay, it's okay. Bhaskar Nayak? No, okay, it's okay. Agit Singh, what did you say? I didn't. Singh, what did you say?
Yes, sir.
Ankit Singh, science is about?
Sir, in engineering, we apply science and solve the daily life problems through technology.
Very good, very good. Okay. You mute it. I will tell you the explanation. You mute it. Very good. Yes, some more or less people have told. Okay, some idea you have. Okay.
And then make it economical.
In order to make it economical. Yeah, we are applying some knowledge in order to make it economical. That is Ankit Singh's explanation. Very good. I'm so happy. You have some idea, a clear picture about it, right? That's what, right? So I can give explanation like this, right? I advise all of you, please, you get in through PEC domain, right? All of you please join for this meeting through PEC ID. PEC ID. If you use your personal ID, I have to admit you. If you come through PEC ID, I need not admit you. You can straight away join. Okay. So I advise all of you, please use our PEC ID, PEC email ID, Bharat, okay, to join this meeting, right? Our class. Okay, I will give explanation. See, I can give explanation like this. Science is concerned with systematic understanding and gathering of facts, laws, principles governing natural phenomena. If you look at the nature, science is something like a study about nature, right? Nature phenomena, study about natural phenomena. If you look just in and around us, there are truth, facts. If you look in and around us, science is concerned with systematic understanding of those facts, truth, laws, principles. Okay, we are terming like this: facts, laws, truth, principles governing natural phenomena. Something study about nature, natural phenomena, and they are categorized. Okay, they are categorized as chemical science, biological science, mathematical science. What else? Physical science. Then even your social science and so on, right? Like that, you have studied under various heading, right? The truth about factor, the fact about otherwise truth. Science is nothing but truth. You studied truth, certain truth, natural truth, nature. About nature, you have studied under various headings. Okay, they are categorized under various headings. You studied. In addition, you also studied parallelly language paper. Your mother tongue, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, or the international language, English. Okay, parallelly you studied language because already truth, the earlier people, researchers have studied the nature and they established the truth, the facts, laws, principles in literature. If you want to study and understand them, familiarity with the language is required. Okay, that is the reason why you studied certain language paper also in addition to the science subjects. Okay, so you should get familiarity with the language in order to understand, in order to gather the facts, laws, principles which have been studied by earlier researcher and established in the literature. Okay, so even in the future, when you grow up, you also will be thinking, you also will be studying the nature. You will be having your own fact and truth. And you want to, if you want to establish, you should be good in art, in art of writing. Okay, in the form of report, literature, you have to establish them. For that, familiarity with the language is required, right? That is the reason why language also taught parallelly. And okay, of course, when you studied the language, you also studied about our culture, our history, our civilization, and so on, right? Other things also you have studied along with it, right? So now what I want to say, engineering, I will come to engineering. Science is nothing but truth, study about nature, it governs governing natural phenomena. Engineering is an art of utilization of the established facts, laws, principles. Okay, it is nothing but it's an art of utilization of them. Engineering is an art of utilization of the established laws, principles, facts, whatever in the science we have established in the name of laws, in the name of facts, principles, and so on. Okay, researchers have already observed the nature and established so many things. Okay, that we are. It is an engineering is an art of utilization of them, right? Applying them, application of science. Application of science is engineering. Why do you apply? What is the necessity to apply? We are applying them. Okay. To create some desired phenomena, new system. We are, why do we apply science? We are in engineering. In engineering is an art of application of science, right? In order to create certain some desired phenomena. Okay, new systems. Why do you create a desired phenomena? Why do you create a new system? We have to create them for the benefit and betterment of mankind, for our comfortability, okay, for our comfortability, for our betterment, for humanity betterment. Okay, so we want to, from natural phenomena, we are moving towards desired phenomena. Engineering is nothing but it is an art of establishing, okay, it is an art of utilizing the science in order to create certain desired phenomena for the benefit of mankind. I can say like this, right? So what is meant by that desired phenomena, sir, you are telling? What is meant by desired phenomena? So how I am communicating to you? I am sitting in front of my laptop and talking to you. You people are sitting in your house and you are talking to me, right? So we are communicating each other through a desired phenomena. This is the invention, science, engineering. Okay, science is applied and engineering invention. The laptop, the engineering invention. The camera is the engineering invention. The mic which I am using is the engineering invention. Through this, I am communicating. Last year, you attended class. Okay, at 8 o'clock, you were at home. 8:30, you were at home. 9 o'clock, you were in your classroom in Pondicherry Engineering College. How did you came? How did you came from your home to this one? Through bus, no? So that the bus is a desired phenomena, mechanical engineering creation. Okay, this laptop, this camera and all is a desired phenomena, electronics engineering creation. I am communicating to you. Whatever program I am doing, whatever I am talking, computer science, right? Computer science creation, right? Likewise, see, you all are sitting in your house comfortably, right? You people are sitting in your house comfortably in a room. There is a, so for your betterment, you are comfortable there. So that is the civil engineering creation, that desired phenomena, civil engineering creation, your building, your house, right? Likewise, I can keep on telling, right? Hope you are understood. I already aware of it, just I am telling this way, that way, and so many other ways, right? Very good. So this introduction I want to give you. Moreover, another important thing I want to tell you, I told you the difference between science and engineering, and also I want to tell you the difference between scientist and engineer. Somebody said, someone said engineering is invention, science is knowledge. Okay, please see here, scientists, those who have carried out research, and that is, they studied nature and established so many laws, principles, facts, okay, governing natural phenomena. Those things, when they do, they have looked at the truth as it is. That is the main difference between science and engineer. Scientists will look at the truth as it is. But we engineers, what we do, okay, please don't mistake me. I used to say often, a very funny way, this way, we deal with the 3 A's. Okay, we engineers deal with 3 A's. What are those A's? The first A, assumptions. Okay, when we are utilizing the established facts or laws, principles in order to create certain desired phenomena for the benefit and betterment of mankind, what we do, actually we make a lot of assumptions, right? Based on the assumption, we approximate solution to any problem. We do approximation. Okay, although our solutions are approximated, it is acceptable solution. So assumption, approximation, acceptable. This 3 we do mainly, we engineers. Okay, that way we differ from scientists. Scientists will look at the truth as it is, but we people will not apply it as it is. While applying, we will make a lot of assumptions in our application, right? In the creation, we do a lot of assumption, and we to any engineering, to solve any engineering problem, what we do, we first make assumption. Based on the assumption made, we approximate the solution to any problem. Okay, although we approximate the solution to any problem, our solutions are to acceptable level. We do the approximation. Our solutions are acceptable. They are at an acceptable level. Okay, our approximated solution goes closer to the exact solution. Exact solution nobody knows. Okay, we obtain it by approximation. Although our solution is approximated, it goes closer to the exact, right? So that business we do. All that is kept in mind. Okay. Today I talked some high level talking to you, some high level discussion with you, right? Discussing with your researchers. Likewise, I have talked. Okay, no problem. You are very beginners. Something I felt of telling you, I have told you, right? I will come to your surveying. In your surveying, what I have decided, I told you I taught a long back, 10 years back, surveying, right? Now we have been asked to extra workload. We have been just requested to handle it. No problem. Because if it happened to be a classroom, I can do it everything on the board. Here I don't have iPad to write and project to you, right? So I will project the textbooks. I told you more than 60% of the contents are theory. Okay, you have to go through the theory. You have to rationally sit and study them. Definitely you will understand, you follow. However, I am going to give you some guidance. I am going to brief you the content of whatever is there in the theory part. And the computation part, I will be totally helping you. You need not worry at all. All computations, because 35% is going to be calculation. Okay, so that knowledge in mathematics is required. Simple mathematical knowledge, we are going to apply there. And certain advanced surveying, astronomical survey and all, some physics knowledge also required. In your syllabus right now, you don't have astronomical survey and all. You have only simple surveying, right? So better, I will do one thing. I will project textbooks. Please see here. I told you I taught surveying long back, more than 100, I think 12, 13 years back I taught, very beginning of my teaching career. That time I taught, right? That time I followed a textbook called Surveying and Leveling by R. Agar. Okay, Agar. So it was a good book. During my college days, I followed Kanetkar and Kulkarni. Surveying by Kanetkar and Kulkarni. That was the recommended book during when I was doing my B.Tech degree. That time I followed Surveying by Kanetkar and Kulkarni. Right? It's a good book, no doubt. Then when I was teaching the subject very earlier time, especially in our regional engineering college Warangal, that institute followed that book Agar, because one Professor Muhammad Ali was there. He used to evaluate UPSC paper, even IAS paper, civil services paper, engineering services paper, the GATE papers. They will send it to NIT. I was working as a faculty member. That time he used to evaluate the survey part, and he used to give it to me. He evaluated it. I also evaluated some of the papers that time. Okay, that is why he used to follow the textbook by Agar. The reason was, in that book, many workout questions are that questions which were asked in UPSC exam, engineering services exam, civil services exam, and GATE exam. Those questions paper are worked out in that. Okay, those questions which were asked in UPSC, engineering services, civil services, and GATE examinations. Those problems were there in the exercise and worked out examples. That is why he was very good. It's really good. At that time, many students, since they happened to be meritorious and they followed this kind of textbooks, they managed to pass IES exam, GATE exam. Majority of the students qualified, got through GATE and engineering services exam, especially regular and part-time students. Moreover, they are meritorious because all India merit basis they are selected. That is that way they got through. Many qualified. But now in our institute, the recommended book is for you is Dr. B.C. Punmiya. Recently, I have gone through that NIT Warangal syllabus also. At present, they also follow Dr. B.C. Punmiya. I am talking about some 20 years back, 25 years back, that Agar book was followed. Afterwards, that book has not been gone for reprint or updation. Okay, that is why it has not. Moreover, it is Kanna publishers. The printing is not good. Okay, that way it lost its popularity. Now many institutes follow this Dr. B.C. Punmiya. Our institute also, Dr. B.C. Punmiya is the recommended textbook for you surveying, right? So even NIT Warangal also follow right now that Dr. B.C. Punmiya book. I also have decided, but I am familiar with those sentences. The sentences of Agar book I can talk even without referring the textbook. But here Punmiya, I have to refer the text book and tell you the sentences available there. No problem, right? Wherever required, I will talk from that text and here. Just I have decided, what I have decided, instead of preparing notes, it is convenient for you. I have decided to project the textbook. Okay, I have scanned the textbook. I will project it. I will place it here, and we will discuss that way. That will be easy for you to refer the textbook also. Okay. I advise all of you to buy Surveying Volume 1, Volume 2 by Dr. B.C. Punmiya textbook immediately and start studying that one, right? So I am projecting the first page of that book. Fundamental definition and concept, okay? So fundamental definitions and concept. So surveying. Now I have to tell you what is surveying. First explanation for surveying and then the object. So can say from Agar book I can say surveying is the art of determining the relative position of points on the surface of the earth or beneath the surface of the earth by means of measurement of distances, directions and elevations. The measurement may be direct or indirect. This is the explanation available in the Agar textbook. Surveying is the art of determining the relative position of points on the surface of the earth or beneath the surface of the earth by means of measurement of distances, directions and elevations. Okay. Next sentence, the measurement may be direct or indirect. Okay, that is the explanation which I have studied in that Agar textbook. But here this is also more or less the same thing. Surveying is the art of determining the relative position of points on or above or beneath the surface of the earth by means of direct or indirect measurements of distance, direction and elevation. Beautiful. You have to underline. Actually, I underlined with the pencil. It is not visible here in the scanning. Okay, better I will again certain important sentences I underlined with the pencil. The scanning it's not clear. Again, I will redo that. I will see that because it will be easy if I send these notes for studying and all. Right. So please, this is the explanation for surveying. Object I will come later. Okay. Surveying is the art of, please all of you keep it in mind, determining the relative position of points on, above or beneath, on or above or beneath the surface of the earth by means of direct or indirect measurements of distance, direction and elevation. Distance means linear measurement. Direction means angular measurement. Okay, and elevation. The distance is linear measurement in horizontal plane. Elevation means linear measurement in the vertical plane. Please remember, distance and elevations both are linear measurement. What is the difference? Distance means in the horizontal plane. Okay, horizontal measurement. Elevation means in the vertical plane, linear vertical measurement, height. Okay. Direction is nothing but angular measurement. So both we do linear and angular measurement in survey. Thus, we establish the position of points either above the earth, on the earth, or above the earth, or beneath the earth. Okay, that is surveying. Okay, that is why this subject becomes important subject for geotechnical engineers and transportation engineers. Normally, many reputed institutions, faculty member, geotechnical faculty member, the faculty member who is specialized in geotechnical engineering, and a faculty member who is specialized in transportation engineering, they are teaching in almost all the institute in India. Only in our college, they are troubling that structural engineers. I don't know. That's not right. Okay. But people, those who are holding responsibilities, not at all realizing. Okay. That and all I will talk in person later. Okay. I will come to that one. Next, leveling. Other things you can go through. This is important in this paragraph. Other thing you can go through. Right. Next one. Leveling is the branch of surveying. Okay, what is leveling? It is nothing but is the branch of surveying, the object of which is to find the elevation of points with respect to given or assumed data. Right? Please, we also have another word called leveling. Many textbooks you say, if you see, it is given surveying and leveling. Right? Leveling is the branch of surveying. It's a part of surveying, branch of surveying. The object of which is to find the elevation of points with respect to 1 minute. Some latecomer has come. Okay. Object with respect to some assumed data. Right. Please see here. Leveling is nothing but is the branch of surveying, the object of which is to find the elevation of points with respect to a given or assumed data. Means, see here, the given datum or assumed datum is nothing but mean sea level, MSL. Okay, so we take mean sea level. I will explain, give explanation later what is mean sea level. Okay, from the mean sea level, the height of points are defined, established. Okay, given or find out. We are finding. Okay, right. To establish point at a given elevation, And leveling is not only that, and also to establish point on a given elevation. On the required elevation, we also establish point or different elevation with respect to given assumed datum. Either we are establishing point at a given elevation or at a different elevation, we can establish point also from the assumed datum with respect to the assumed datum. With respect to assumed datum, the assumed datum is nothing but it is mean sea level. Okay, with we do the assumed datum as mean sea level. With respect to the mean sea level, we establish the given point, the given elevation, required elevation, desired elevation, either one elevation or several elevations at different elevations. We can establish points also. Okay, or we can determine the elevation of points on the surface of the earth. Both we do. Either we establish required elevation points or we determine the elevation of points on the surface of the earth by doing leveling. Okay, so that is the explanation for surveying and leveling. Okay, so I advise you to go through later this one. Next one, in this paragraph, what is discussed today, please all of you listen. What is the significance of the subject surveying, sir? If you ask me, it is very, very important subject. The reason is the success of any engineering projects depends on the precision of surveying. Please remember, the success of any engineering project, okay, depends on the precision of surveying. If the surveyor do any mistake, the entire project will go wrong. Okay, so the successful completion of any engineering project depends on the precision in surveying work. So that is the important thing. Before executing any engineering projects, the first operation to be done is surveying. Okay, before starting any engineering project, we have to do surveying. For example, the application of surveying, where do we do that? Even starting from highways, roadways, railways, okay, even waterways, right, under a transmission line tower, even mining, everywhere, surveying is very much important, required. And also construction of buildings, okay, surveying is required before that. Those things are discussed here. Every engineering project such as water supply, yeah, I forgot to tell you, city survey, water supply and irrigation schemes. Okay, for our comfortable living, we required water supply, to our houses, and also irrigation to the field, and also drainage lines for establishing drainage lines, water supply system to our house, for cultivation, irrigation purposes. Okay, the construction of dam, canal, and all irrigation schemes, railroads, roadways, transmission line towers, mines, bridges, construction of bridges and buildings, everything requires surveying. Okay, all engineering projects, survey is my first operation to be carried out, right? So the success of those projects depends on the precision of surveying. So the surveyor has to do it precisely. That is the significance of surveying. That's what I want to tell you here. Okay, next one. What is the object of surveying, sir? Because it is given object, no, here in the title, surveying object. It is nothing but the object of surveying is to prepare, plan, or map so that it may represent. Okay, it may represent here. Yeah, the next page is here. It may represent what? The area on a horizontal plane, right? The area on a horizontal plane. So what is the object of surveying? If you ask me, the object of survey is to prepare, plan, or map of the area. The object of survey is to prepare, plan, or map of the area. Okay, so that it may be represent what? It may be represent the area on a horizontal plane. Map of the area, that's what I told you just now, right? So that is the object of surveying. This way, you have to do it. Okay, I will go to the few minutes. There are 5 more minutes. Meanwhile, just few minutes more. Right. What is next here? Primary division of survey. Right. Meanwhile, I will put your name like this, so that for attendance purpose, I want to record your name. I'll be okay. So some names are getting recorded. It's okay. Primary divisions of survey. Next time coming. This is the paragraph on survey. This is the. Please see here. If you do survey on larger area, we are taking into account the spherical shape of the earth. Okay, the spherical shape of the earth we are taking into account when you deal in a larger area. First, but here it is shown straight. No, this, in the larger area, no, the triangle should be small here, right? When you deal with a small area, we are neglecting the curvature of the earth, and we are treating the ground as a plane surface, flat. Okay, flat, no, ground horizontal surface. So accordingly, the primary division of surveying is plane surveying and geodetic surveying. Plane surveying and geodetic surveying. In plane surveying, we don't take into account curvature, the average. It's an average sphere, no. The curvature of Earth we are not taking into account. We are treating the terrain as a plane surface, horizontal plane, and the distance are just a straight line. Okay. Likewise, we are measuring. This is applicable. Maybe okay. It will be okay. All right for when you deal with small areas. Okay. When you deal with the larger areas like railways, even mining, and so on, even navigation lines, okay, the microwave tower lines and all, the curvature of the earth also should be taken into account. There we go for geodetic surveying. So that is the primary divisions of surveying. Please remember, it's not classification of surveying. Now I am telling you the primary division. The surveying is divided into two primary divisions. Okay. Later I am going to discuss with you the classification of surveying, how to classify surveying based on the nature of the survey. Okay, and then based on the object of survey, the purpose of survey, based on the instrument used in surveying. So in three ways we can classify. I am talking about classification of survey. In three ways it can be done. One is based on the nature of the survey. Nature, na, whether the survey is carried out on the land survey. The survey is carried out in water, hydrographic survey. If the survey is carried out in sky, astronomical survey. Likewise, nature of survey, the nature, okay. Accordingly, we can classify surveying. And also, the survey can be carried out based on the object of survey, purpose of survey, what purpose we do it. Engineering purpose, engineering survey. If it is for a mining purpose, mining survey. Military purpose, military survey. Okay. Likewise, we can keep on telling. Right? I will tell you that later. And then classification of survey based on the instrument used. Okay. We have several instruments like starting from chain surveying, compass surveying, theodolite surveying, leveling. Okay, level surveying. So we never say leveling. And plane table is there. Plane table surveying, trigonometrical surveying, tachometric surveying, and so on. So that classification is important for you, because that classification is established in the textbook, and I am going to teach you that. So I am going to teach you various surveying method based on the instrument used. Okay, based on in the instrument used, we are going to study the entire syllabus, your surveying type, right? Let us see. The primary division, you need not study this one, or what I have written here, the textbook. Okay, simply primary division, you should know what it is. Just I will show you. I am going to finish a few more minutes. All right. Yeah, here I have given plane surveying. What is given? Plane surveying is the type of surveying in which the mean surface of the earth is considered as plane and the spherical shape is neglected. That's all. Plane surveying is the type of surveying in which the mean surface of the earth is considered as plane and the spherical shape is neglected. All triangles formed by survey lines are considered as plane triangles because we make triangles. Please listen here. We run survey line called a traverse line. Okay, the simplest network is a triangle. Listen, 3 lines we can make a triangle. No, that is why the word triangle is there. All triangles means the traverse line. Okay, that is called traverse line. The simplest figure is a triangle. Even it may be a very big. So many lines joined together. Also, we can make a very big traverse network. Okay, but the simplest one is triangle. That's why all triangles formed by survey lines are considered as plane triangles. Okay, in plane surveying. Now with that you can this much explanation is sufficient. Other thing you just you are interested, you read it, right? So geodetic surveying is the type of surveying in which the shape of the earth is taken into account. All lines lying in the surface are curved lines, and the triangles are spherical triangles. Okay, that's what. This much is sufficient. This much explanation for geodetic surveying, and plane surveying is sufficient. That is the primary division of surveying over. Next, we are coming to classification of surveying. Only 2 more minutes. Just meanwhile, for attendance purpose, just I move like this. Whether I print somebody. Okay. Oh, press here, somebody facing problem. Why? Why this get printed? Whether what I am doing? What I have done here? Okay, I am recording your name for attendance purpose. Few minutes. There are a few more minutes left. Nearly out of 37, 34 of you are attending. I am so happy to see all of you. Right? Just let me to record your names because the video is being recorded. So if I score like this, your name will be get recorded. Okay, for me for attendance purpose. That's why I am doing like this. Now your names are well recorded. All your 34 names are well recorded. Okay, right. So your attendance is over. I have recorded your name because the entire video is being recorded now. Right. So today, for today class, I feel this much explanation may be sufficient, right? In the coming classes, we will see like this. Okay. I will do one thing. First, I will stop recording. Then we will have some general discussion. If any student interested to have a talk, we can have a talk for 3 minutes. I will just before that I will stop recording. Okay. Right. Good. Bye to all of you. No, I will be talking later. Right.